This video do not need an introduction, but I'm going to start off like this. So it was the year 2024. Everything is looking good. I just moved into a nice apartment and I wanted to go out and party. So while I was partying and everything downtown, socializing, mingling with a lot of people, that a popular R&B artist was coming to the club to perform. Now, this R&B singer used to have my goddamn bedroom growing up shaking. He was the theme of my high school and college. He was the main reason of my soundtrack. So when I saw that he was coming, I got real excited. So I go downstairs and I asked the lady, hey, I would like to pay for this ticket for next week. She said, you don't have to pay. Since I go to that club regularly downtown, they treat me like family. So I said, okay, cool. So I remember I called my young boy up and I was like, yo, what you doing next weekend? He was like, nothing. I said, bro, I'm about to send you something. I sent him the flyer. He was like, yo, say less. I'm like, yo, say less. You know what that mean? He was like, what that mean? I'm like, bro, the most beautiful, attractive woman is going to be coming there. And they going to look they fucking best to sit in the VIP with him. So be on your A game, get your hair cut, do what you gotta do. He said, okay, say less. Now, this R&B singer was very, very popular. It was to a point that he had the barbershops on lock, the beauty salon on lock. He had the clubs on lock. And if you was driving, the radios was playing his shit. If you was walking down the street, the hood had his music jumping, blasting. So as I'm prepping up and everything, I decided to buy some new clothes, go shopping, and, get my hair cut. So all I know is I'm telling my barber about it. My barber like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, yo, such and such is coming. He was like, oh, he's coming? I'm like, yeah. You know what that means? He's like, I already know. I said, yo, you should come down, bro. He said, no, my wife gonna kill me. I said, all right. So we chuckled. So all of a sudden it gets to next week. You know what? I take it back. That following weekend, I started having a lot of weird dreams. The first dream, I'm just sitting in the car and I'm seeing everybody that was in the car with me got their guns out. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm kind of scared. I'm confused. What's going on? And then this man with a ski mask gives me a gun. Didn't say a word. He gave me a gun. I woke up. I'm trying to contemplate what the hell is going on as I'm waking up. Like, all right, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? So all I know is I called one of my homegirls about it. And I said, baby girl, look, I'm going to give you some extra money. Can you do me a favor? She said, what's up? I said, yo, I need a reading, yo. I had this weird-ass dream. And then next thing you know, she did her reading. And basically what she said was like, Melvin, you going to have to protect yourself. I'm like, what you mean to protect myself? Are you going out to a party? I said, maybe. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. So she said, Melvin, you go out to a party, just protect yourself. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's fast forward. So I have another dream. And all I know is I'm seeing my dad, and he mad as fuck. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's going on? He said, yo, stay away from that fucking nigga. Yo, that nigga, he a fucking weirdo, bro. Stay away from that nigga. I'm like, what are you talking about? What weirdo? What are you talking about? I see a hideous creature. So as I seen it, I said, oh, that nigga, and I woke up. So I'm like, all right, I'm not even paying no mind. I'm not even paying no mind. Like, I'm taking heed to the shit because, all right, before something about to go down, you get warnings. So all I know is I talked to my young boy. Yo, what you got going on? You ready for this shit? He was like, yeah, I'm fucking ready. And I told him some good news. He like, what's the good news? I'm like, bro, I'm going to get a section at VIP so we get to chill. He was like, all right, bet. So all I know is the day comes. I called my homegirl that work at the club as a bartender. I'm like, yo, you going to be there tonight? She said, Melvin, I'm going to call off tonight. I said, why? Like, come on. Like, it's going to be extra money for you. She's like, nah, I just don't feel like it. Something not right. I said, okay. So normally me and her just say, when I text her, I say, hello, goodbye, how you doing? What's the updates? Making short conversations and everything. But today, she texted me after the phone call saying, Melvin, be careful. So I know 100% I'm going to have to take heed to this. So all of a sudden, I meet up with my young boy. He parked in the back. I say, yo, what's up? Gave him a hug and everything. I said, all right, come on, you coming in with me? So all I know is while we in there, the club is getting a little packed, it's getting popping, it's getting popping. The music is playing, the drinks is hitting and everything. It's a lot of women like how I expected. But I started to have a real critical moment. I start to think really deep about this. And I start putting two and two together. When you go to a concert, the people that you see at the concert, what represent that artist? Like, for example, if you go to the Roots, like the group from Philadelphia, the Roots concert, you're going to see a lot of sophisticated, artistic people there. John B., sophisticated, beautiful black woman that want to be loved. Beanie Siegel, because I remember this when I was a little kid and I went to a Beanie Siegel concert. A bunch of rough-neck baddies that like to play with guns and wouldn't mind catching a body or doing any type of crime. In the last concert that I went to before, I went to a Maxwell concert years ago when I was about 15. And there's a bunch of corporate, beautiful women that are freaky, but very classy. But something about this concert was a little off. As I'm paying attention to certain things and everything, I'm seeing a lot of shit that just don't add up. I'm seeing beautiful women, but something about them is off. They still attractive, but something about them is off. So as I'm trying to put two and two together, I'm not paying any no mind. So all of a sudden, one of my homegirls that worked there sat down with me. And one thing about me, I like to just talk and just lollygag and everything. So we just talk about life. So all I know is the party is about to start, but the R&B singer is nowhere to be found. So I go outside, bust it up with the security guards. We laughing and everything. And then all of a sudden, turned out the R&B singer was on his way because one of the drivers was on his way to pick him up. So we lollygagging and everything, and we laughing. So I go back in the VIP booth, and I'm just chilling. All I know is a few drinks, I'm having a good time. So all I know is this old guy comes to me with all these security guards, and he was like, bro, you smell good as hell. I dap him up and everything, give him my number and everything, and I say, yo, if you're interested, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. So all I know is out of nowhere, I start talking to the security guy. I'm like, yo, who that guy? He was like, yo, he one of the biggest boxing managers in Philadelphia. I said, well, all right, bet, fuck it, I don't care. All right, cool. So all I know is out of nowhere, you know, when you sit in VIP with an event like that, a lot of thirsty-ass bitches want to sit with you and everything. Not sit with you because they want to suck on you and fuck on you, but they want to sit with you to try to get drinks off you, but I ain't having that. I'm just sitting there by myself, and if I know you, you get to sit with me. If I don't know you, you can't sit with me. So all I know is out of nowhere, a few girls that I know started sitting with me and everything. So we just vibing, having a good time. I'm like, yo, you excited about the night? She's like, fuck yeah, I'm excited. This and the third. I said, bro, it's about to be a hell of a night. It's about to be popping, 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 popping. So all of a sudden, my young boy, yo, let's take a picture together. This is a good ass memory. I said, all right, bet. So my young boy, he took the picture. All I know is the girls left and everything, and me and the young boy, we just talking. So I'm like, yo, send me that picture. He said, I got you now. All I know is, as he's sending it, he stopped and see something. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? He was like, yo, Melvin, what the fuck? I'm like, what's going on? So as I look at the picture, it's some things in there that caught my attention. And as you see on this picture right here, it was something like that. So I'm like, oh, shit. And he was asking me a question like, Melvin, what's that? And I'm like, I'm playing it off like it's nothing. But deep down, what that meant was the spirits was there or the ancestors was there, but something was there for a reason. So all of a sudden, my homegirl comes back in the VIP. And she like, yo, he's here, but I don't feel right about him. I'm like, what you mean you don't feel right about him? She said when she saw him, she had a lot of anxiety and she didn't know where it was coming from. So I gave her my water bottle. I told her to drink some, do what you gotta do, calm down. Then all of a sudden, she said she had to use the bathroom. So as she's in the bathroom, the concert already started. Everything is getting lit and it's popping. The concert's over and everybody is returned to dance. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting in VIP, minding my business. Then all of a sudden, this R&B singer has a VIP section across from me. And you know how that VIP section is going. It's nothing but women, everybody taking pictures. He's shaking hands. He having a good time. So I'm like, yo, let's go over there and dab him up. He dabbing everybody else up. Let's go over there and dab him up. But my young boy, he like, nah, I don't feel right. I'm not going over there. I said, all right, fuck it. So I decided to go over there. All I know is out of nowhere, the bouncer boy that I'm real cool with come to me and say, yo, chill. I'm like, what the fuck you mean chill? Yo, homie is a fucking weirdo. But as he's talking to me and everything, the R&B singer comes towards me. And I'm like, I can't say the name. I'm like, yo, what's up, such and such? He looked dead at me real fast and said, no! Just like that. No! And I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like bombarded because what the fuck was that outburst for? What the fuck was that? So I'm trying to play it cool. The bouncer's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the R&B singer. And he got his glasses down, tilted, looking at me on some weirdo shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And for about 20 seconds, this nigga keep staring at me with the weirdest facial expression. And I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, I don't feel like fighting tonight. I don't like how your energy is. And like, yo, I don't feel like fighting, but if I gotta fight, I'm gonna beat your ass just on the fact that you came at me weird as shit. So all of a sudden, as I'm staring at this nigga, the bouncer grabs me and he said, yo, let me talk to you for a minute. And the bouncer said, yo, did I fucking tell you this nigga was a fucking weirdo? I said, yeah. He was like, yeah, that nigga's a fucking weirdo. To the max. I've been working here for about 15 years, bro. I know who's weird and I know who's cool. Like the time when such and such came here, he dabs you up and he chill with you. That nigga is a weirdo. So I go back in my VIP section and I'm like, yo, what the fuck was that? My young boy was like, yo, I told you, he a weirdo. I'm like, so you saw that shit too? He said, yeah, I saw everything. I'm like, oh man. So as I'm sitting there, I started getting dizzy and shit and lightheaded. I didn't know where that shit was coming from. And I started sweating and I bounced back though, but I was sweating. I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. I drunk a little bit, but I don't normally be sweating like this. What the fuck is going on? So I calmed down a little bit and I felt better. I get a text message from my homegirl and she like, yo, I'm like, what's up? She said, I'm leaving for the night. I'm not coming back. Energy in there too heavy. She was telling nothing but the facts. So I sat there for a little bit. I calmed down and everything. All I know is, as I'm talking to other girls and everything, one girl sat with me and everything, and we started busting it up. All of a sudden, the security guard come through, and he was like, bro, I need to talk to her for a minute. I'm like, all right, spit it out. Yo, such and such wants you to come sit with him in VIP. She said, no, I'm okay. He go back, leave the meshes. All of a sudden, this nigga keeps staring at me. So I stared at him, and I nod my head. And you know, when you know me nod somebody's head, they all right, fuck it, I'm gonna keep it moving. This nigga is literally still staring at me. I'm like, yo, I already know what time this nigga on. This nigga weird, bro. He's really a fucking weirdo. And I'm sitting there laughing to myself like, yo, all right, one side of my brain saying this nigga is a fucking weirdo. The other side of my brain is, I got a one-up on this nigga. So we even. So I forget all about it. I go back on the dance floor, mingling and everything, having a good fucking time. Me and my young boy. All I know is we go back upstairs. Soon as we go upstairs, one of the shorties is sitting in our VIP booth, drinking up all our fucking drinks. And we like, hey, yo, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like, yo, excuse me, miss, all due respect, do I know you? She politely said no. I said, ma'am, all due respect, you gotta leave this area, like this is a VIP area, I don't know you. She said, oh, I'm so sorry. So all of a sudden, she go over there where Ball was at, the weird R&B singer. He let her sit in VIP. My young boy come up, I tell my young boy what the hell happened. My young boy say, yo, don't drink none of this shit. I said, I'm not drinking none of this shit. This shit could be a whole setup. So I told my young boy, I said, yo, we want to sit here about half an hour. Then after that, yo, we going home, bro. I can't deal with this shit no more. He was like, yeah, me, yo, this shit getting too weird. I'm like, bro, it's getting beyond fucking weird. So all I know is 45 minutes passed. Told my young boy, yo, we out. Soon as we go out, we go downstairs, we mingle with some people, we shake hands, we dab up with the security guards because we know them personally and everything, and then we're on our way out. So I dab up the main security guy that gave me the warning, like, boy, is a weirdo. I dabbed him up and we was all chilling and shit. All I know is out of nowhere, me and my young boy, we walked out the club. So all of a sudden, we going out, I'm about to pull out my weed so I can smoke it. It's a fucking commotion. It's some commotion going on outside. And there's these girls arguing. It's a black one, and I think it's a Puerto Rican one or some Cuban one. So they arguing. The black girl with her gay guy friend. So they arguing, talking shit to each other and everything. And all I know is, while I'm smoking and shit, all I hear is, listen, you black bitch. And like, it offended the whole black crowd. Like, everybody about to jump in. And like, motherfuckers would come out their car ready to beat up this girl. So I grabbed my young boy. And I said, yo, we gotta go. And my young boy like, yo, why you not watching the mix? I'm like, bro, something ain't right, bro. If that weird shit is going on, it's about to be a fight, more than likely, there's some spiritual shit going on here. We gotta get the fuck out of here. So we walking, we hit the corner. All I see is a few cop cars, the R&B singer security guard, and the main security boy that I'm cool with. Like, as we hit the corner, he was coming out. And I see the car where the R&B singer was in. And you know, I was about to approach him, but I think the security boy knew I was going to approach him on some crazy shit. He threw me off. And he said, yo, next time you come down here, don't be wearing that crazy ass dye and shit. And I stopped and I was laughing at this shit. I'm like, what? He said, next time you come down here, don't overkill the dye. I'm like, damn, nigga, I got a little patch on my beard. Like, damn. He said, what, you can't grow facial hair? I'm like, yo, I'm trying, dog. I'm using ointment. He said, start eating some pussy. So I started busting out laughing. And the whole time, I told him I'd talk to him later. We gets in our car. As soon as we get in the car, I lie to you not, soon my young boy turned his key in the ignition. Them niggas drive off. As we pulling out, on our way, we was going to CVS that day. Going to CVS. All I know is out of nowhere, the security boy stopped us. He said, yo. I'm like, yo, what's up? He said, yo, I want you to sit here for a few minutes. I'm like, what you mean sit here for a few minutes? He's like, yo, when you walked out that door, the R&B nigga came out and walked out the door. And he was like, I was peeping everything. Like, yo, he was waiting for you purposely. You know, it could have been a guardian angel that day, stopping me from some bullshit. And while we in the car, I had to wait about 5 minutes, 5, 6, or 8 minutes. I forget how long we had to wait for. He was talking to me through the car like, I told you, bro, boy is a fucking weirdo. And I'm like, yo, this nigga is fucking weird. He was like, bro, you ever read about this nigga? I'm like, I heard about it, but I never paid no mind. He was like, bro, I was at another event. He always on some weird shit, but tonight, for some reason, he was on some weird shit with you. He was cool with everybody else but you. He was like, yo, that was strange. And I said, bro, I don't know what the fuck I did, but it's cool. So our time was up. It was time for us to drive. All I know is I told my nigga, yo, go to CVS. Yo, I'm about to crash out on this nigga tonight. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to do some wild shit. As he's driving, he hits a bump. His car that wasn't fucked up, but his car was making weird noises. We get to CVS. Soon as I walk in CVS ready to print out some pictures, the machines was down. My young boy looked at me and we looked at each other and I said, yo, that's a sign. So that was a weird ass time. So I'm mad as shit. I go back home. I'm mad as shit. I text my homegirl, yo, at a certain time, I'm going to wake up around this time. I need you to answer the phone. No its, no buts, no ands. Answer the fucking phone. I was so heated. I literally Apple paid her some good amount of money that she was forced to answer. So all I know is the next day, me and my tarot reader is talking. And I'm over here spazzing. Like, what the fuck happened yesterday? Like, I'm spazzing. Like, I'm spazzing so hard on the goddamn phone that my reader, like me and her good friends, she was a little nervous about this shit because she never seen me get out of character like that because I'm more calm, cool, level-headed, but I was just spazzing. So all of a sudden, she do her little divinations. She tells me, yo, he was in there doing some weird stuff. And like, yo, Melvin, you're protected and everything, but look, you got the right to throw a punch back. What you gonna do? I said, I don't know, do some mediumship. So she did some mediumship, and basically it was like, don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. The ancestors already taking care of it. I said, okay, cool. That reading was cool because I didn't have to do nothing. The motherfucker was on TMZ the following month on some bullshit, and then some more bullshit popped off with him, and some more bullshit popped off with him, and some more bullshit popped off with him. So I'm like, all right, justice served. Moral to this story is, you can't idolize your heroes. You can't idolize nobody. They normal people just like us. And some people, and some of them, are not normal. So, I'm going to finish the story off like this. So, I'm over there looking at his Instagram and everything. And I'm going deep down the archives like I'm being a stalker. I'm being a creep. All of a sudden, there was an altar popped up. It was an altar he posted with some weird shit on it. And I put two and two together. I said, no wonder he was a fucking weirdo. This is Melvin Brown. This is the Melvin Brown Experience. I hope you enjoyed this story. Hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm out.